Mark sat in his kitchen at 3 a.m. In front of him was a blank sheet of paper and a cup of cold coffee. At the top of the page, he had written, "Plan for a new life." Again. He was 35. In his desk drawer lay 3 gym memberships he'd used exactly twice. In his browser bookmarks were coding courses he'd bought on sale a year ago and never even opened. His job drained him. His apartment was cluttered with things to be fixed. And inside him lived a sticky sense of self-sabotage. He wasn't lazy, he was just tired of fighting himself. Every evening he promised, tomorrow will be different, and every morning he lost the battle to the snooze button on his alarm. It felt like trying to run through waist-deep mud. He didn't need inspiration. He needed to understand why he kept betraying himself over and over again. In an act of desperation, he drove to see an old man he'd heard about from a colleague. No temples or incense, just a weathered farmhouse 3 hours from the city. The road was terrible. Mark drove, fuming at himself. What am I doing? Driving to some old guy for advice on how to do morning stretches? This is ridiculous. But hope, thin and fragile, was stronger than his skepticism. He wanted someone to finally explain the rules of the game he was clearly losing. The old man met him in the yard. He was scrubbing an old cast-iron skillet with sand. "I'm here for discipline," Mark said, skipping the pleasantries. "I'm ready to pay. I'm ready to work. Just tell me how to stop quitting everything halfway." The old man didn't even look up. "What do you want discipline for? You're not in the army. To reach my goals, to, be better, to be more efficient." "Efficient," the old man chuckled, finally looking at him. "Do you want to be a high-quality tool in someone else's hands? Or do you want to live?" "I want to finish what I start," Mark snapped. "I feel like a pushover. I have no willpower." "Do you even know what discipline is?" the old man asked, setting the skillet aside. "It's when you force yourself to do what you don't want to do, to get what you really want." "Wrong," the old man cut him off. "That's the definition of masochism. Let's look at examples. Did you eat breakfast today?" "Just coffee. I didn't have time." "So you found time to force your body to work on credit, but you didn't find 10 minutes to fuel it. Is that discipline?" "Those are circumstances." "No, those are negotiations. You spend your whole day negotiating with a terrorist, and that terrorist is you. Tell me, when the alarm goes off in the morning, what do you think about? About how I'll sleep for 5 more minutes and still make it. Liar, you know you won't make it. You're just bartering. 5 minutes of sleep in exchange for a morning of stress and a headache. You're making a shitty deal. But how do I stop bartering? I lack willpower. Willpower is a finite resource, like the battery on your phone. If you spend it all just trying to convince yourself to get out of bed, you're empty by noon. Discipline isn't about violence against yourself, it's the absence of choice. What do you mean, absence of choice? There's always a choice. That's your problem. You think you have the right to choose whether to do what you decided or not. But if you already made the decision last night, why are you renegotiating it in the morning? Did you get smarter overnight? No, probably weaker. Exactly. At night, you're a strategist. In the morning, you're a lazy animal. Why do you let the animal run the strategy? So what do I do? Just blindly follow orders? That sounds like a robot's life. A robot is someone who obediently follows their every whim. I want to lie down. I want to eat this junk. I want to scroll my phone. You're a slave to your impulses. Discipline is actually the only form of freedom. Freedom through restriction? Mark raised an eyebrow. Freedom from depending on your mood. Don't you see? You don't have to feel like it to get things done. You don't need inspiration to clean your room. Discipline is when you take away the voting rights of your "I don't want to." You simply remove that item from the menu. And what if I'm actually tired? If you're tired, lie down and sleep. That's also discipline. Going to bed on time. No, you don't sleep. You sit on your phone. You aren't resting. You're just killing time so that tomorrow doesn't come. Your problem isn't laziness. Your problem is that you think too highly of yourself. Meaning, you think you're special and need special conditions, a muse, the right Monday, the right vitamins. In reality, it's simpler. You get up and you go. Discipline is when you do something not because you're a hero, but because you decided to. Period. The deal is closed, not up for discussion. Sounds cold, but it works. If you want sentimental sympathy, go to a therapist. If you want results, remove emotions from the list of required ingredients. Discipline is pure logic. If A leads to B, you just do A, without the drama. The noise in Mark's head finally went quiet on the drive back. For the first time in years, he didn't feel like writing a massive 100-page plan. He got home and looked at the pile of dirty dishes in the sink. Internally, a familiar voice whispered, "Leave it for tomorrow. You're tired from the drive." He smiled. He recognized that voice now. It was the terrorist offering another garbage deal. Mark didn't argue. He didn't try to motivate himself. He just walked to the sink and turned on the water. No inspiration, no slogans. Inside, it became surprisingly peaceful. It turned out that when you stop negotiating with yourself, you regain a massive amount of energy that used to be wasted on endless internal debates. Life didn't become perfect in that second, but it became clear. He was just washing a plate, and in that moment, he was finally free.